Hey guys, John Link. So let's talk about the Fed, and what their purpose, their dual mandate is with respect to interest rates, inflation, employment, and so forth. So their dual mandate is to keep a reasonable employment number, typically running around 4.4, 4.5% employment unemployment, and 2% inflation over time. That's what their target is, 2% inflation, and an employment picture that looks like where there's not too many people working, but enough people working. So that's their kind of conundrum when it comes to if you have like everybody in the country working, then there's more money that goes into the economy, right? And more money, inflation is too much money chasing too few goods, right? So the unemployment factor is based on how many people between the percentage of people between 16 and 65 that are actively looking for work but can't find it. Okay, that's different from the participation rate of our participation rate runs around 59 or 60% of people that could work, if they wanted to work, they're in that working range if they so desire to work. So it's a different thing. But the unemployment rate, the Fed likes to keep, at a reasonable level. I will say that, so it doesn't fuel inflation. Then it comes to their dual mandate of inflation. Again, if too many people are working, or if there's just generally too much money in the economy, that tends to drive up prices, and it all comes back to supply. To me, where too much money chasing too few goods. Well, okay, if we have a bunch of money, let's make more goods, right? It's a supply thing, and that's what happened during COVID. Was there weren't a lot of people working, but the government infused so much money into the economy for people to spend, and then there wasn't enough stuff to spend it on, right? Because of supply chain issues and things like that. So it was a supply and demand supply thing. So when the Fed comes up for their meeting in June, these factors come into play, and then tariffs come into play as well, right? I mean, tariffs are very much a part of the conversation right now, even though President Trump is not the first or only president to ever use tariffs. It certainly is in the news, and his kind of fluctuating policies make the market, it's kind of uncertain. The one thing the market can't stand is uncertainty. That's what I'm kind of getting at in this whole video, is there's some uncertainty there. The interest rate, what's the Fed going to do, and the tariffs are a big part of it. And how do you actually accomplish, if you're the Fed, the dual mandate of full employment and 2% inflation, with the kind of lingering questions that we have out there. I say all that to say this: wouldn't be surprised to see a 5 or 10% pullback in the market because of the uncertainty, as much as anything, right? We're still, in the first half of the year. We're looking at the second half where things get leveled out, we believe, and will be a good second half. We just had a big run up recently, which is another reason to say, well, there could be, a little bit of a pullback. So don't get concerned. You get your reports and markets, your accounts down, 5-10% over the next few weeks or something. I think we can expect that, particularly, again, put all these factors together that I'm trying to do in this short video, and the fact that the market has had a big run up, right? It's just not a straight line up. The market isn't. So there'll be some fluctuation here. Um, I hope this helps in advance of any future, hiccup that we have in the market. Just remember, as we always say, the market always will trend upward. We may have some glitches here and there, but the market's recovered from any correction or bear market or anything else. It's always um, recovered 100% of the time. Okay. All right. In the meantime, call me if I can help. Thanks.